Ladies and gents, I think Darkelf is back. I mean, I know he's back. This is a player I found 3 or 4 years ago. It was a very unique way of playing. And I've known he's been playing, but I haven't actually covered a live Darkelf game in some time. All right, so he is our focus here. We've got Darkelf in the red playing as the new civilization, the Armenian. So I'm excited to see him utilize the mule cart, which the Armenians have, instead of a lumber camp or a mining camp. But you know, Darkelf in the red, and then in the blue we have Johnny Grin. And I don't know anything about Johnny Grin, but this is 700 elo. So 700 elo is usually pretty strong. The idle TC time is way down compared to maybe 400 or 500 elo, but still obviously some efficiency problems here or there for players, especially on an open map like Arabia. Now, I want to explain why Darkelf is unique, okay? You see, Darkelf is the greatest SimCity player I've ever seen in ranked. Darkelf will place the houses that are being placed right now with the intention of squeezing farms perfectly spaced between them, guys. You may think I'm exaggerating, but if you think I'm exaggerating and you haven't seen Darkelf before, you should go back and watch when we found Darkelf, because I didn't know what I was looking for. I just thought I was casting a random user named Darkelf when I found Darkelf many years ago. Now, eventually, Darkelf then has a sorting system, and Darkelf will put the female villagers on farms and the male villagers on wood and then stone and gold. And usually keeps that pretty consistent all the way up to like 60 or 70 villagers. This is not someone who has a channel. This is not someone who's doing it for content. I've never got a message from Darkelf that said, thanks for the videos. Like some players do. Like, I'm really happy I have fans. This is just the weird, interesting ways of Darkelf. And wait till you see where the buildings are placed as well, okay? So, the downside of Darkelf, I'm just going to say this right now, is that Darkelf sucks with making military at the right time, because Darkelf focuses so much on the base. And so, what keeps Darkelf Aloy the Legend is the focus on the town. Because when Darkelf's ready to play, he produces a ton. What I recall last time is like you have like a little house wall farm base with a gate, and he'll make the monastery and the university and everything as part of the wall. And then the military buildings are typically outside of it in boxes of 4. So, yeah, that's my introduction here. But Armenians are new, so I don't know if there's a reason Darkelf's picked them here beyond, you know, maybe just wanting to experiment with them. I don't know if there's anything strategically that Darkelf's going to do here. But you're not really going to notice how Darkelf sorts the economy until later in the game, because Darkelf obviously happy to keep things mixed for now. We'll see. Yeah, that's true. Maybe the Fortified Church is why Darkelf has selected the civilization. So I do have someone who helps me look through games, right? And on my list of people to look through is Darkelf. And what I'm hoping to do is kind of revisit certain legends years later and see what they're doing. And Darkelf has been on that list. I haven't had the time to do it. But 2 houses here, 2 houses here, 2 houses here. And this is all with the intention of placing the farms in the right way. I actually think Darkelf will delete this mill later on. That is my prediction. But I could be wrong on that, of course. On the other side, Johnny Grin's Persians. New and improved Persians. TCs do work a bit faster in the Dark Age now. And also very SimCity-like houses here for blue. Started the game with 4 houses. And now is building 4 houses here. I don't know the history or information on Johnny Grin. I can't tell you too much here about Johnny. Darkelf, I think auto-scouting at the moment. Scouting started on the corner. Yeah, so it is auto-scout. And the scout for blue is still scouting around. Notice that Johnny did chop all the straggler trees at the start, but eventually made a lumber camp, which is very good. I think Johnny's playing pretty solid here. I'm a little worried for Darkelf, that Darkelf is going to get rushed before Darkelf is ready to defend it. Tell me iSit is on your watch list as well. Last I checked, iSit hadn't played in a very long time. But yes, iSit is a player I'm always looking for to see if he's active. All right. So, probably a fast castle. Oh, God. This house was... I guess the gold generation kind of hurt Darkelf here, because Darkelf wants the houses in a certain way. And Darkelf happy enough to place the house right there. Hardy, are you watching right now by chance? This is like my 5th or 6th stream back. I would like to allow links. If we could get into Nightbot and allow links for people, that'd be nice. Because people keep getting timed out. Might not be here at the moment. But if I think Hardy has the ability to do that. I think it'd be nice. And then if people post links that they're not supposed to, my mods can just deal with them, right? Guys, you realize if you do it enough times, Nightbot will genuinely ban you. So, you settle down, okay? Unless you want to get banned. People are like, oh, I can't post links. Let's just get banned. Eco looks pretty nice right now for Darkelf. But this is live, so I don't know what to expect. Darkelf has clicked up to the next stage. Now, I do remember that Darkelf was a bit of a completionist. But guys, look. Look, does it click now? Look, male villagers on the wood. I guess they're male villagers on berries. Oh, well, system ruined. But, like, this is something Darkelf actually thinks about, and I didn't realize that until we got to Castle Age many years ago, and someone was like, wait a second, was that intentional? And then we casted more, and we realized this is crazy SimCity player. At least for now. We've got the 4 ladies there on the farms. Why, though? I don't have a why, and I don't think we need to make this more serious than it actually is. I think this is just how this player likes to play for whatever reason. Likes to have fun with it, so... and the thing that I unfortunately have to ask, because people could always try and take jokes too far, is that we just enjoy it for what it is. It's silly, you know? Gonna mill over here. Nice job. Okay, so blue is going for a bit of everything, right? We've got the golds. We've got the stone. Eventually, we'll see farms. Maybe we'll see farms after Feudal Age eco upgrades. That could make a lot of sense. Double barracks now is way earlier than I remember in the past from Darkelf, though. But again, I remember there being like sections of 4 when it came to military buildings. Double bit axe being researched in the mule carts. It's the Armenians that have the more effective mule cart upgrades, right? I think they have the cheaper mule carts and then the more effective mule cart upgrades. But I forget if it's that or the Georgians. It is that I was correct with my original statement? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I made the joke before that Darkelf is significantly nerfed if, like, there's too few females. Like, at the moment, guys, the male villagers are getting the hunt, they're getting the berries, they're getting the wood. But, like, Darkelf really needs to stick to this. Really needs more farms here. And you don't really have a choice of what villager you get out of the TC here, so. We've got hunt happening. We got some spearmen out. Darkelf going to queue up 5 spearmen to defend the eco. Still building up this box. Now, eventually, this is going to all be filled with farms. Now, here's where I'm curious. Watch this. Early prediction. Ready? So, a farm will happen here, right? But then if you place a farm here, there's going to be a gap. So Darkelf is going to think about this. There we go. We got a new farmer. Darkelf is going to think about this, and whenever Darkelf builds something here, it's going to be 1 tile further in. That's what I'm thinking. Houses are coming up. On the other side of things, Scout from Darkelf did just get hit. And Blue thinking about the resources for the next age, but is oh so close. This doesn't have some food and also doesn't have the buildings. Okay, a mule cart is being built there. And again, you can mine with the mule cart, and then you can also chop trees with the mule cart. So it's multi-purpose. Right now, it looks like the eco's pretty smooth for Darkelf. And every time Darkelf gets a new lady, he builds a farm. And pays attention to it, like, right away. Like, look, is this guy... Are we gonna see a farm here? No. Nope. That's a miner. It's such interesting dedication. Again, like, the amount of times I've made a video on someone and then they realize they've been spotted and then they stick to their reputation. Look, boom, farm, instantly. Like, usually people are like, oh, T90, I'm so glad you noticed. That's so funny. I'm glad people enjoy it. I've never had any contact from Darkelf. Never see any chat from Darkelf. I just know Darkelf has played 5,000 games, and this is how Darkelf plays. Darkelf very well may have never seen the videos. Spearmen everywhere as well to defend the eco for the time being. Welcome back to Twitch. I was wondering if you still do community games, because those were hilarious to watch. I will be doing community games again. Not this Friday, though, because I'll be casting a tournament. But next Friday, and then, like, 3 Fridays after that, we'll be back in business before Christmas. Okay, so Blue has scouted this a bunch of times. And look at it from Blue's perspective. Blue's probably like, what a weird base. Everything's so straight and neat and tidy. Darkelf needs more farms, though, guys. Also, Darkelf is a completionist, so Darkelf likes to get all techs in Feudal Age before the next age. Armenians can get the pikeman upgrade in Feudal. So we're even seeing that, and even more spearmen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is how Darkelf likes to play the game, and Darkelf wants to have fun. There's the market! I called it! Look at the placement of it! You see, and then the farm fits perfectly! It's crazy. 4 years ago, I found this player. Still the same. And then, I don't know what will go here. There's always one gate. There's just one gate, and I don't know where that will be. We're going to see archers now from Darkelf, because Darkelf wants to produce a little bit of everything. But this is going to end up being like 30 farms, right? Because the farms can go to here, to here. Obviously, you leave your gold miners pretty exposed. There are the buildings for Blue. And Blue's going to be in Castle Age. I wonder if Blue read the patch notes and knows the Persians have solid cav archers in Castle Age now. T90, I had a thought. Community games have half be first month subscribers and other be 2 months and up. There's no way to sort that, and I don't like doing it that way. I think as brutal as it may sound, and as many times as people may say it's rigged because of it, the best way to do community games is extra entries for subs, but anyone can join regardless of elo or rank. Makes it way less complex. But yeah, I don't think there'd be a way I could sort it from, like, if you've subbed for this long, or this long, or this long. Darkelf is on the way to Castle Age with this. Guys, look at the idle TC time. Look at the res collected. That's the thing about Darkelf. It's actually really good. And just a reminder, the only female villagers that are out there are currently on the farms. Just Darkelf things. Now, I think we'll have a university. I think we're going to have supplies. A monastery. We'll have a castle. It's just where those things go that are important. And Darkelf will not attack. This is purely just defense. We have defense here. We have defense here. And we have defense here. Red is dropping a castle. Red's going to make some more blue is, rather. And Blue getting Castle Age eco upgrades. But no real fighting right now from Blue. Blue's done a good job too, though. Like, has military buildings. Still focusing a lot on the eco. So isn't making army, but is prepped to make army at some point soon. Hey, I'm a tier 1 sub. How do I link that to the Discord? If you're in the Discord, and your Discord is linked with your Twitch, it should link eventually. No, Darkelf, don't attack, you try hard. Oh, wait, he's protecting the relics! I was wondering what was happening here, because Darkelf doesn't attack. Darkelf is protecting the relics. Yes! Makes sense. And there's the fortified church. I was about to be shocked. Like, Darkelf doesn't typically rush the enemy. Darkelf loves infantry upgrades. Armenians can get... Oh, I get it! Because Armenians can get the infantry upgrades and age earlier. That's perfect for Darkelf. So Darkelf is probably going to work his way up to two-handed swordsman. Okay, there's the university. Guys, let's see. Let's watch this TC. Because there's a lot of things you could be looking at right now if you're Dark Elf. Villager. Okay, female villager. How long does it take Dark Elf to grab it and farm? Uh-oh, breaking the rules. Farm. Also, clearly understands warrior priests as something that's specific to the Armenians. They can pick up relics and fight. Also, holy lag right now. Oh, geez. This is very laggy. I'm sorry. I can't actually do anything about it. It's just, if the players experience lag, the caster experiences lag, which is not fun. Okay, here we go. You have other things to look at? Uh-oh. 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 Well. Here we go. Wait. I like how Dark Elf has to farm here. Clearly in Dark Elf's mind, Dark Elf is like, I have to fill these farms first. Instead of these farms. This needs to be filled. Yep, there you go. Warrior Priest heading over here to get a relic. So that is the far one. Warrior Priest here. Going to get a relic. Things did just smooth out a little bit, I have to say. And Dark Elf has found the enemy and is going to click the enemy forward, or the army forward. I think Dark Elf is going to potentially win this one before we even get to see the late game stuff. Because Dark Elf is genuinely good. Like, sub-minute of TC idle time. And the Sim City is still happening. If Dark Elf didn't care about some of that stuff, Dark Elf would be in a better spot. But yeah, Blue rang the town bell. Is making army now in panic, but hasn't run with these villagers yet. Which could be a concern. And like, the base looks amazing. Obviously is a war game. Saw an opportunity to get some kills. Getting Halb now even, which you can get the infantry upgrades an age earlier, so that's why Halb is coming in. And we'll have all 5 relics soon, because this is the only relic that's remaining, and Dark Elf is here. And Blue will have Cav Archers and Skirmishers eventually. But Blue is not expecting this type of pressure at this time. And the eco is still sorted perfectly by Dark Elf rules. The mule carts have moved. Like, Dark Elf is actually insane. Crazy stuff. Cav Archers should come over here. Blue is reacting now. This is good for Blue. Like, Blue's learning. I think the next time Blue plays a game, Blue's going to realize, okay, I could have a little bit more army out. Dark Elf has a 20 eco lead. Will lose the Halbs here, though. The Cav Archers will eventually clear this up, so this game may continue on. Dark Elf may be looking at something else, and it could be this pretty base. Now, actually, the size of the fortified church has ruined Dark Elf's straight lines. Because this does jut out a little bit. But I suppose that's fine. Cav Archers do still receive bonus damage from Halbs, which is a worrying thing, but still, cleanup happens there from Blue. Well played, Blue. And look, boom, instantly. It's just like constant. I love it. Okay, ready? He's going to delete this mill. Dark Elf will delete this mill after Heavy Plow completes. That's my prediction. And 5 relics behind this. We'll eventually lose the army, but Blue's very distracted, and Dark Elf's just clearly a very skilled player. Sicilian Fleet. Okay, canceled that tech. Can someone remind me what that does again? Does that add the extra splash damage and range to the ships? So Dark Elf knows what the techs do, because I don't think that would affect anything here. I think that's it. That would explain it. Dark Elf, yep, 4x4x4 with the buildings. Dark Elf is playing this game like many people wish they could play this game. This is full-on SimCity. Now, we still haven't seen this completed. That'll eventually happen. Dark Elf clearly confident enough to fight, though, getting all these techs, so we might see this game end soon. But for those that missed it, in the old Darkelf video, the opponent was a bit stronger. And so the game was fairly even. And the game went on for a long time. Darkelf made, instead of a castle in one of the corners, a freaking wonder. Literally made a wonder to complete the SimCity in a ranked game. This is incredibly satisfying to see here. And again, it is sorted, which is insane. Oh, a new mill. Okay, you ready? New mill. And then I knew that this was going to be a problem for Darkelf. It's also interesting. This villager is the one building it. Blue's going to drop another castle there in defense. Getting elite skirm to defend from the units that Darkelf is making should be pretty good. The city makes me so calm and happy. That's probably what Darkelf feels. It's not winning, but it's how you win, right? And then we have the houses there. I love Darkelf, man. I'm going to try and pull up Darkelf's profile after this and show you how many games have been played. I remember it was thousands last time I looked. Always plays 1v1 Arabia, doesn't like arena, likes to play the open maps, and likes to turn it into something like this. What's the point of deleting the mill? Well, this mill isn't part of the SimCity base. So that's why. Like, this adds efficiency, obviously. But Darkelf will never farm around this. Because Darkelf likes the way the base looks in here. So that's the main thing. I'm not saying that you should go deleting your mills, but I think that's what Darkelf will do. And massive armies headed to the hill. Upgrades flying in all the time. What's it say APM is like? It says Darkelf is not as fast. But Darkelf is clearly doing a bit more. And has kept that one single TC working all the time. Crazy techs as well. Darkelf has thousands of games of experience. Going to get Sanctity and even Atonement. And it's just holding to that middle hill, which could be a really important hill in the long run. Blue building up a pretty solid army. Blue's army could be really good. Like, skirms should be really good against halbs and the archers that are here. But obviously, upgrades are there for red. Well, some upgrades. And red's got a lot of units there. In APM, what is considered an action every click? It's effective actions. That's the way it's worded. But yeah, like every click or every like hotkey, in theory, yes. Oh yeah, Darkelf has 6 relics because the Armenians get one when they build their monastery. Forgot about that. Composite bows destroy skirms. I guess that would actually make sense because skirms thrive on high pierce armor, and composite bowmen ignore armor. I guess that would make sense. There's the gate. Will eventually complete. Could see Imperial Age for either player soon. 1 town center economy this whole time from Darkelf. Okay, here we are. Is Darkelf paying attention? Yep. And Darkelf clicks up to the Imperial Age. T90, the last row of houses is offset because he calculated how to perfectly fit in the farms. Yeah, I know. That's what I mentioned before. It's crazy, right? Did the same thing here with the market. Thought about that ahead of time. This is just Darkelf things. Like blue, similar things. Lines of houses, castles, and whatnot. But it's not like with specific intent. Like everything Darkelf does. And called it, baby. Called it. Now, some people did mention in the past that some other games had like different types of workers and different efficiencies for different workers. So people thought like maybe Darkelf believes that to be the case here. I don't really know. I've never interviewed Darkelf to get the reasons for why Darkelf plays like this. But like, if Darkelf could play like this, I know it's been a low pressure game, but if this can happen with such like precision, if Darkelf didn't give a damn about how cute his city looked, I think he would be like 12 or 1300. But then that would be like, then Darkelf would be like every other sweaty 12 or 1300. And Darkelf wouldn't be Darkelf. And then we wouldn't be here enjoying this. Right? With those army comps. I mean, the eco's good. Like, there's clearly been no attempt to really grow in knowledge in the game for Darkelf. It's just like, get the relics, build a pretty base, make a lot of everything. You know. It's just how Darkelf plays. We'll have 8 stables. We'll have 8 barracks. I'm wondering if we're going to see 2 more archer ranges. I feel like that is something that could make sense. Blue hasn't clicked up to Imp yet. Does have the resources to do so. Blue's made a lot of army, though. Sick amounts of army, but seems scared. I want to see Blue scout this base. Look at that! The base is a masterpiece. Huh. Absolute masterpiece. So here's my question. Obviously, we know Darkelf sorts it kind of by gender, but like, based on your abilities as a human being, if you were back in Darkelf times, what job do you think you'd be doing? I'd love to think that, like, I'd be a hunter, but my eyesight would be so bad without contacts or glasses. There's no way that I could be a hunter. I'd have to be a farmer. I couldn't be a lumberjack. I'd accidentally chop someone's leg off without glasses. So, siege engineer, accounting? What, are you going to work in the market? Okay. I'd be garrisoned in castles. AFK. Okay. I would definitely be like a bear. I would be a forager, or I would be a berry villager. That would be my job. That would be my life. Because of the lack of eyesight. That would be really bad. Like, I guess everyone had bad eyesight? Well, then again, we weren't staring at screens. I don't know. Okay, here comes the great AI attack of Darkelf. Warrior Priest, Composite Bowman, Halbs, Two-Handed Swordsman. Blue sees this, and Blue's going to nope out of here. Well, with some of the villagers anyways. And Blue's an imp. Just going to maybe send some army over here to deal with this. There's the Wonder! I had only seen him do it one time before. But he's thinking of expanding the Sim City here. And is going to have a castle in the other corner. So, a castle per corner. And then a Wonder outside the walls. I should look up, I think on the ageofempires.com profiles, it says how many times someone has built Wonders. I wonder if that data is available for Darkelf. Composite Bowman just wrecked there. But I mean, the Halbs went in. Unfortunately, Blue is too inexperienced, doesn't know what's good against what yet. The Halb should never be good against archers. There goes the Wonder. Hey, guys, have you ever seen an Armenian Wonder? I have never seen an Armenian Wonder. The Civ is new. Still has to pay attention to where the villagers go. It's still an important thing here for Darkelf. Darkelf probably isn't looking at this right now. We see citadels now. New tech for the Persians. That'll add some bolts from the castles. So that's a nice defensive measure there for Blue. Would make sense. I love the way T90 says composite. That's how I've always said it. Composite. Like I have a family of hunters and they have composite bows. How should I say it? I thought that's how it was always said. Has my family led me astray? I thought that's how it's pronounced. Maybe it's because of where we're from? I think I'm saying it correctly. Composite? No, it's not composite. It's composite. Composite. Composite bow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it right. But maybe it's a locational thing. We got some chonkers for Johnny. Oh god, but there's a treb there for Darkelf. That's a lot of elephants right there. I just want the Wonder to complete, honestly. I want the farms to finish as well. Okay, here's another question. Will Darkelf stop making villagers once this is filled? What happens? Oh god. Okay, it's filled completely. It's perfect. What happens if there's not enough space for farms? Remember when you said Dark Elf would build more ranges? Oh, yeah, true. Dark Elf made more ranges. Dark Elf has army on the hill. Castle goes down for blue. That's a big old army here. And I don't know if 2 elephants are going to be enough to defend from this. Keep an eye on things here for Dark Elf. Now, I remember when I first found Dark Elf that I was like, I'll gift 5 subs for every villager that's in the wrong spot. And it was in post-imp. And then I had to gift like 100 subs. So I'm guessing that Dark Elf doesn't stop creating villagers regardless. And it's just as happy with the work that's been done here. Wonder's going to complete soon. I'd never thought about this before. But how bad would you feel if you lose this game, if you're blue, like you resign, and then you look at your opponent's base? I didn't realize how defeating that must feel. I would feel like an awful player, and it might discourage me to play again. I'd feel like he was taunting me. Well, on the flip side, I guess you feel like a god if you win playing like this. But it's not like this is a random person doing this randomly to flex. This is all Dark Elf has ever done for years. I wouldn't feel bad. I'd be like, that guy has his crap together. Okay, respect. I mean, blue has not scalded it yet. And blue goes in with the light cav here, and light cav are going to clear up the siege. Not bad. Good work here from blue. Good fight. Hasn't cleared up all the skirms in the siege exactly, but wants the treb. So it's understandable. Trebs are going to be hard to kill, though. There's halbs to protect. And there's enough army there from Dark Elf to protect it. Wonder is at 80%. Dark Elf has 3 minutes of idle TC time over a 54-minute game. It's been 1 TC this whole time. So impressive. And another castle. Because what's better than houses, but yet another castle is part of the walls. And castle will eventually fall here for Johnny. You can see the bullets being shot because of citadels. I'm not really sure citadels is that strong, to be honest, compared to a bracer castle. It is new, though. I'm sure some tests will be done. Okay, get ready for the Craigasmus Twitch chat. Get ready. Get the timing right. And Wonder. Ooh, not quite as impressed as I thought I was going to be. I actually think the castle looks better, but that's the Armenian Wonder. All right. It is very straight. It is very blocky. It's not quite as round as the castle. Not quite as zigzaggedy. Well, blue, you're down to 45 population. Opponent has built a Wonder. That's not something that blue knows, of course. Blue, a fighter. Good trait to have as a player in this game. Continuing to fight on. Especially this elo. You never really know what's going to happen. But guys, as a reminder, this is not Wonder victory. So there's no benefit to building the Wonder beyond it just looking cool. And that's exactly what Dark Elf lives for, is the base look cool. Like Dark Elf wants to have a masterpiece of a base. So you spend 1,000 wood, 1,000 gold, 1,000 stone for a Wonder, it doesn't trigger a countdown because it's a ranked game. If there was a countdown that could have been triggered by a Wonder, the relics would have also triggered a countdown as well. Now, blue did snipe a Treb a moment ago. And blue still losing villagers, and blue's just kind of holding on, hoping for something to change here. Not sure if anything will change. Dark Elf going to box that lion down. I love that mod. I'm glad I added that mod again. And more Trebs are going to be on the way for Dark Elf. T90 Armenians and Georgians are perfect for Dark Elf because mining camps look ugly. Yeah, and I think also getting the good infantry is good for Dark Elf. 100 HP on the champions. And being able to get your infantry technologies and age earlier is really good for Dark Elf as well. So this might be Dark Elf's new main civ. But I remember Darkelf playing with a lot of different civs. Ethiopians, Britons, like... Darkelf plays a ton of games. So I imagine Darkelf probably plays with one civ for a couple weeks, switches to another civ. 100 villagers and stops. Perfectly balanced. Perfectly set up eco. Every single space is filled with farms, not spilled with farms. That could be, except for that, which might bother someone like Darkelf. 100 villagers on the dot. Trebs on the way. This is crazy. And blue does not want to call it quits. Blue's like, what more can I do? Let's go for Cavalier. And it's going to be really tough for blue to ever come back, obviously. I also noticed that Darkelf hasn't, like, made more mule carts. Really has gotten use out of them and has wheeled them around a lot. Like, this one was on the stone or gold at one point. This one just rolled over here. This one rolled over as well. And, well, blue resigns. To see this. Like... Again, unfortunately, the game wasn't the closest, but this is Darkelf, and Darkelf is still at it. And the way you... Like, Darkelf is always, I think, going to be better than people at the same elo at idle TC time. That aspect of the game is good, but it's about, like, hitting with the attacks before Darkelf is really ready. But think about how Darkelf played it. Darkelf made 15 pikes, so you can't scout rush. It would have to be, like, fast archers before Darkelf had ranges, I guess, to make counter units. That, or like, if you're good with booming yourself and you make multiple TCs, you could, in theory, be better than someone who is just on one TC. But this is a masterpiece. And Darkelf plays every single game like this. I told you when the game started, Darkelf played like this. And I hadn't casted this player in like a year. It is really impressive. And I'm glad that someone's out there playing ranked games like this and not worrying about what people think you should do for optimization. Darkelf just enjoys to play the game this way. Darkelf won 3 times, regular, relic, and wonder victory. True. True. I didn't think about that. Okay, so I'm going to try. Again, I talked earlier about how it's really hard to fetch data these days because whatever API they're using for the game is it's run by a hamster with one leg running on a rusty wheel. It's not great. But I'm going to try and see if maybe we can get a little bit more data on Darkelf and see how many games he's played, see what civs he's playing with. And then also the really interesting thing for me is how many times a wonder has been built. Because I know that on ageofempires.com that stat exists. So it's actually updating. This is some of the data for Darkelf. Where's the wonders built? What? Well, then this is bullcrap then. This data cannot be true. We just watched one get built. You freaking... What? I can't trust anything now. Maybe it doesn't track it in ranked games then, I guess. Refresh it. He built them before in the past, right? Like, I know that there's been wonders in the past, but like, let's see if I search for me. That's disappointing. Like I said, there's so much potential for data, and it just isn't there sometimes. Let's see my stats. Like, my stats used to say I built, like, 15 wonders. Okay, so I built 23 wonders in ranked. Don't ask. Me making wonders is what I do when people won't resign. But, like, why does this show for me and not him? That's weird.